to Q&A right now. One first question that we have, Doug, how you going to open up the people's guarantee to add manufacturers? That's from Peter.
Just explain that. Yeah, maybe you can explain it, I'll answer the question.
So behind me is Jocelyn Bamford, and she's the head of our coalition. We represent 140 companies and thousands of employees. And our biggest concern is that we're being ignored. So we've had meetings with the government, we've had meetings with the opposition prior to Patrick resigning, and our optimism level went way up when we thought there's a chance now to have a new leader and a new opportunity. And we thank you, Doug, for coming out and talking to us tonight. You mentioned that you're going to have incentives. We know what's required. We have a list of asks that manufacturing required. I want to hear from you what you're going to do for manufacturing, not just to attract new manufacturers here, but to keep us from leaving, because 50% of our coalition has plans to move to the U.S. or expand in the U.S. And this is devastating for a Canadian who wants to stay here and is tired of being driven out of the province.
That's a great question, especially small businesses, that 85% of small businesses employ everyone in Canada. Well, my friends, I'm the only person, the only candidate that has actually run a company with a couple hundred employees on both sides of the border. If you come by our company, I don't sit in some big oval office. I'm walking through the factory, engaging with the people. But one of the big issues are the carbon tax. That's a huge issue out there right now. Another issue is hydro. And then, by the way, I'm not going to get deep into it, but the Green Energy Act and the hydro, it's Bay Street that's making all the money. And I'll get into this as we go on, and I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Charging 90 cents when it really only costs 2 cents? They're putting these little energy plants up in Bala, for example, throwing the energy away that they don't even need, but charging it. I'd love to be in the printing business that, I could charge 10 times the amount it costs for labels. That's who's making the money. As small businesses and the average people are getting annihilated, the middle class, opening up their heating bill, and they have a decision between eating or heating. That's sad. We're going to go through those contracts, up, down, and sideways, and we're going to take care of that. And the contracts they sign, by the way, sole source deals again. I'm tired of everyone feathering their own nest, taking care of their buddies. Not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Red tape. Red tape, trying to get things done. Pharmaceutical, health and beauty. I went to a company out in Brampton, and this is federal, but Health Canada was just ringing them through the coals there. Their corporate office from the U.S. called me and said, why should we have business up there? All you do is give us problems. I said, well, that's going to change. I can assure you, we're going to be a business-friendly province. And I would like to thank you. But again, going back to putting the doctors in charge of healthcare, putting farmers in charge of agriculture, you folks are the experts. You're talking to businesses like I'm talking to businesses. I need your input. I always believe in one thing, my friends, and that goes for business and politics. I surround myself with smarter people than myself in their area of expertise. And I listen to them. We move as a unit.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Doug. Next question. Lots of people have asked the same question. The minimum wage, we all know, has gone up from $11.60 to $14 an hour as of January 1st. So, Doug, when you become leader, when you become premier, how are you going to address this issue that's affecting a lot of businesses, actually everybody's pocket right now?
Well, I agree with you, and I love how the premier tries to peg the hard-working people at Tim Hortons against a franchisee owner. That was a real slick move. Let me tell you, my heart breaks for people making $11, $12 an hour, trying to pay bills, put food on the table. It's very, very difficult. They bumped it up to $14. make us less competitive. Guess who's making the money? I talked to our accountants. These people are walking away with maybe $50 more in their pocket. It's the government. They're collecting over 30% more in taxes. It was a tax grab. And they're propping these people up to get more taxes. I have a very simple theory. To make the businesses more competitive, and they can't roll it, friends, I'm telling you straight up here, once you give someone that, you can't roll it back. But we aren't going to increase it. But what I'm going to do to help these people, they should be paying 0% tax. They should be paying 0%. It's not a tax rate. It's about making sure the people leave the office at night or the factory at night with more money in their pocket. Not in the government's pocket. Making sure that our businesses are more competitive across the region and across North America. That's what we're going to do. We're going to take care of the little guy, as I say. They're going to have a voice. Thank you.
This question is regarding transit. Someone was asking me how the current premier is going to pay for the high-speed train from Windsor to Montreal, Toronto. What's your view on getting rid of the gridlock problem in Toronto and surrounding areas?
Well, after spending, how long, an hour and 20 minutes getting here from Etobicoke, I use this example. I fly down to Chicago to our office in 57 minutes. I can't get from Etobicoke downtown in the morning under an hour. It's traffic gridlock across everywhere. The Liberal government, they had a highway going in, I'm just going to use this as an example, from Vaughan to Milton. I understand they're going to cancel that. I believe in putting more infrastructure in rather than taking it out. There's a war on the car right now. There's a war on the car, but guess what? Over 85% of the people still drive. We will be building new highways right across this province, especially in the GTA in Toronto. We have the worst gridlock in North America. Not Chicago. I go there all the time. Not LA, because they have more highways. Not New York. Toronto is gridlock city. We will come up with a solution to make sure we get from people from east to west a lot quicker than we're doing now. We're going to come up with a solution north and south, but everyone's ignoring the car. I'm not ignoring the car. Now let's talk about subways. We have a fully funded subway for Scarborough. The federal government approved it, the provincial government approved it, and the municipalities approved it under the Rob Ford administration. Jim Flaherty had the funding ready for us. The current mayor comes in and slashes the people of Scarborough into a one-stop $5 billion. I don't even know where they come up with $5 billion. We're going to reinstate. The province is going to take care of the subway system. We will not have the municipalities engage in the subway system. We will build a regional transit system for Toronto and the GTA. It won't be broken up into the Toronto Transit Commission versus the other areas of the GTA. We will have subway systems built around the GTA and in Toronto. Where we can go above ground, where there's no residential, we will go above ground. Where there's residential, we're going under. I've traveled around the world. You go over to Asia, certain countries, they're building miles and miles of subways every year. We met with the companies from over there. Over in Russia, Moscow. Guess what? We sold them our drilling machines, the boring machines under David Miller. They ended up building 50 kilometers of subway tunnels. Not us. I believe in once you get those boring machines in the ground, you never take them out. You just keep boring, non-stop. If we didn't have the money, then we form them later. But you never take them out of the ground. That's what I believe in, subways. I love how they say LRTs. LRTs, and they try to compare it over to Denmark or wherever. We have 6 million people. We don't have these small little towns of 300,000, 400,000. LRTs might be good for that. We need rapid underground transit. When you're exploding as a city in a GTA area, you move up. And when they build up, we go down. That's how you get from point A to point B. My heart breaks for the people that live out in Scarborough by the zoo. It impedes their opportunity for employment. Try to go up to Scarborough by the zoo and try to get downtown. They'll take you an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back. So that's 3 hours, day in and day out, that they could be spending with their families, opposed to sitting in gridlock or sitting on a transit system. We will build transit, we will build subways, and we will take care of it. Not the city, the province will take care of it. Build the best regional transportation anywhere in the world.
So Doug, you know you are in